KU fans, welcome back to Allen Fieldhouse with Benton Smith. I know you guys watched and I know you saw I missed him in Waco on Saturday. I did like a whole thing about how you weren't here standing next to me.
Well, I'll have to go back and watch it now.
Or you could just go back to Waco. I know you missed Waco.
Oh yeah, I love Waco.
With Benton Smith, I'm Matt Tate here at Allen Fieldhouse. KU wins it 83-58 on another thrilling Big Monday in the Big 12.
There's not been a good Big Monday game this year. And now we're through with it, right?
Yes.
4-0 for KU. Each one, a snoozer. This one was just a blowout. I mean, Udoka was coming back into the game, and KU was already up like 30 or 34 points, and there was, 7 minutes left? I mean, the game was in complete control for KU. KU took over in the second half.
Yeah.
The first half was a little bit competitive. KU was just collapsing on Udoka, making him go to the free throw line.
Oklahoma State, 3 guys most of the time, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, 4 a few times. Everybody just surrounded him, and he did a good job of kicking it out or hitting his free throws, whatever he had to do. And that, in the second half, then it was just them steamrolling Oklahoma State.
Yeah, he played 27 minutes, 26 and a half. He had 19 points, 16 rebounds. Wow. I mean, I know you didn't see you did watch the video, probably, right? Yeah, you weren't there, but you watched it. I mean, are we just taking this for granted now? Are we just 16 rebounds? Yeah. I mean, that's an enormous number. 19 on Saturday was an enormous number. He's had 17 in a game this year. Enormous number. I mean, right. I think that the more this goes, where it's just the norm, the more I think 2 things. One, I do think the number itself we take for granted a little bit, 16, he did. But more than that, I think you start to see the Udoka Azubuike appreciation train just get rolling. I mean, Self talked about him a ton tonight in the postgame. Not just tonight, but his development, his career, what he's been able to do, how he's done it. Mike Boynton of Oklahoma State was phenomenal talking about it tonight. I mean, basically said he's the National Player of the Year in his eyes, and just gushed about it. Told him, someday you're going to hang a banner here if you keep doing this. Said flat out, if KU has the Udoka Azubuike that makes 7 of 8 free throws, they're going to win a national championship. I don't think he's wrong. I don't know that we'll see that again, but I don't know that we won't anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he did put himself, say, 7 of 8, and one was an air ball and one was a bank.
Yeah.
That's a pretty tough
bank
thing.
One end and then air ball one.
Yeah. But I mean, he does legitimately have much better touch on his free throws now than I think that he ever has before. And we've just seen his defense and his footwork and his willingness to just move his body and exert effort nonstop. I think everybody looked a little bit tired at points.
Yeah, for sure.
For KU tonight, because they just had that humongous win at Baylor where they knew it would take everything to go down there and win.
Physically and mentally, right?
Yeah, and so guys are still recovering from that while playing against Oklahoma State. And I mean, Udoka at times, he's holding his shorts and he's kind of bent over, and you're thinking, oh, maybe his feet too tired today. But no, he just powers through it, and he gets 16 rebounds and dominates defensively.
Yeah, there's one word for it, right? It's heart.
Yeah.
It's heart.
Yeah.
The guy is all heart right now. He's playing for his team. He's playing for his teammates. He's playing for this place. He's playing to try to get a giant-sized one of him on the door someday. I mean, he really, as we've talked about throughout the season, he really has grown up and matured and come into his own in that way. And now that the season is nearing its end and it's starting to count for real, you just get this sense from him that I have to do more. I've been good this year. I've been great this year at times, but this is it, and I have to do more. And you see that with a lot of seniors. There's that senior urgency thing. But for this guy who's had his career cut in half because of injuries, it just seems different to me. It seems like nothing I've ever seen. We saw it with Frank Mason. We saw it with Devontae Graham, even Landon Lucas, and other guys like that. But those guys had a career's worth of moments. Udoka's have basically been limited to this season, and that's not to knock what he's done before that. But in terms of playing at peak level and doing what he can do, it's been this season. And so now that it's almost over, I think these numbers are the norm. I mean, Oklahoma State's whole game plan was to send 4 guys at him and keep him out of the stat sheet.
Yeah.
and he finishes with 19 and 16. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously had to adjust once he handled that so well. But yeah, I think when you talk about the new norm, I mean, to me, it's just like his approach.
Absolutely.
His approach and his focus, those are at such a high level that those numbers are just going to come, regardless of what KU's facing defensively from its opponent.
Yeah, that's a great point. Really just a good win all the way around. Like, I think Self said it best when he said this was an efficient win, but not a high-octane win. I like that quote because it was go out, get the job done, get a big lead, and let's shut it down. And every one of those starters played minutes that were under their season average.
That's big.
They didn't have to overexert themselves. They didn't have to grind one out, which you said it, that is big because they just did that the other day and on the biggest stage with the biggest stakes. And so tonight they had to show up and they had to play because Oklahoma State's been playing really well and was willing to come in here and fight. But KU took care of it, built the lead, and ran away and then got to rest a little bit and cruise from there. So they get some rest now. Speaking of that, they don't play until Saturday at K-State, which everybody's circled and circled and circled and circled and circled and circled. I think people are excited about that one. And, I think that tonight was a good start for them for the rest. We should mention, too, real quick, cool story. I just posted it. Udoka's brother was here tonight. Older brother, played basketball at Tennessee State for a year, actually redshirted the season. But left Nigeria before Udoka. They hadn't seen each other in 10 years. He texted him yesterday and said, I'm coming to your game tomorrow. Lives in Nashville. Udoka said, I don't really believe that, but I'll leave a ticket for you. And the guy shows up and watches his brother. They have a reunion. They're hanging out after the game tonight, catching up. For a couple of brothers that haven't seen each other for 10 years, I felt a really strong bond between them. I mean, we got to talk to Chima is his name, and he was so proud of Udoka and just so almost fatherly more than brotherly. I mean, he wants to see this guy continue to do what he's doing, and so anyway, go check out that story because it was really a cool moment for those guys. ESPN cameras caught it. You guys might have seen that. At least the hug when they first saw each other, and so there's some great quotes from both of them about it. But the gist of it is basically that Udoka played his mind off. His brother was really happy to be here for it, and Doak was really happy that he was here to see it. So that added something cool to tonight. In a game that could have just been sort of a sleepwalk through it, get through it, move on. It's 12:30, 1 o'clock now, and I just finished that story, and we're doing KU Sports Extra, and Benton's got to drive to Waco tonight. So anyway, lots of cool stories. There'll be more tomorrow and throughout the week. Even looking back at this one, just because of what it meant, but obviously we'll start looking ahead to K-State too. Any final thoughts on the KU K-State rematch that will be either the craziest thing you've ever seen or the tamest thing you've ever seen? And I'm leaning toward the latter.
Yeah, I think that the atmosphere is going to be great, especially before the game. It's always like that after a match. Right. I mean, the students in particular are out of control in a good way.
Right.
They just put every ounce that they have into hating KU when KU comes out on the floor. It's really cool to see. Honestly, it's a great environment, and obviously with this year and the thing that happened here, the first time they played, it's going to be at an even higher level, I would assume. But I also feel like it's going to be kind of tamed down just because K-State's been struggling so much.
Right.
I don't know that the passion would be there at quite that level. And also KU is just so much better than K-State. I don't think it's going to be much of a game.
Yeah, well, I agree with that, and it also it can't get ugly.
No.
Neither coach, neither administration, neither team is really going to want that. So I don't think it gets ugly, and I certainly hope it doesn't, because that wasn't cool. It wasn't a good scene. Nobody's looked back at that and changed their minds, right? So there's no need to even think about a repeat, and I think these guys will kind of hug it out, for lack of a better term, hug it out and say, all right, moving on. We'll see. Silvio obviously won't be over there. He's still suspended, and that means no road games for him. So that will help keep it tame, because I can't imagine if he were sitting on the bench, even suspended, if he were sitting on the bench, what that would be like. And I'm glad no one has to see what that would be like. For Ben Smith, I'm Matt Tate. KU wins it tonight over Oklahoma State, the #1 team in the nation, KU. 83-58. They're 14-1 in Big 12 play now, and continue to just keep rolling. It's almost March, and it's going to get really interesting then. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra. We'll talk to you guys again real soon.